in the quaint town of Willow Creek, the annual Thanksgiving feast was a much-anticipated event, steeped in tradition and communal spirit. This year, excitement buzzed through the air more intensely than ever, thanks to the arrival of a new chef, renowned for his culinary expertise. The chef, a tall man with an enigmatic aura, had promised a meal to die for. As the townspeople gathered in the old town hall, transformed into a lavish banquet room, they were greeted by the tantalizing aromas of roasting turkey, rich gravies, and an assortment of pies. The hall was abuzz with laughter and conversation as the residents of Willow Creek, dressed in their finest, admired the sumptuous spread laid out before them. The chef, whose name no one seemed to know, moved among the tables with a graceful, almost otherworldly poise, his eyes hidden behind a lock of dark hair, observing the guests with an unreadable expression. The anticipation built as the mayor stood to give the customary Thanksgiving toast, thanking the mysterious chef for his contribution to their beloved tradition. As the toast concluded, a hush fell over the room. The guests raised their forks, eager to delve into the feast. However, as the first morsel of food touched their lips, an eerie chill swept through the hall. The once cozy room felt suddenly cold, and the bright lights began to flicker, casting long, ominous shadows across the walls. Whispers filled the air, soft and unintelligible at first, but growing steadily louder and more distinct. They seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, echoing a sinister, mocking laughter that sent shivers down the spines of the gathered townspeople. Confusion and fear replaced the earlier mirth as eyes turned towards the chef, who now stood at the head of the room, a twisted smile playing on his lips. One by one, the guests found themselves unable to move, as if frozen in time, their eyes wide with horror. The chef's form began to change before their very eyes, his once human features melting away to reveal something ghastly and inhuman. His skin turned a sickly shade of grey, his eyes glowed with a malevolent red light, and his hands transformed into gnarled, claw-like appendages. Panic ensued as the townspeople tried to flee, but the doors of the town hall had mysteriously locked themselves, trapping everyone inside with the monstrous chef. The once festive room had turned into a chamber of horrors as the chef's laughter grew louder, filling the space with a palpable sense of dread. Amidst the chaos, a young woman named Lily, a local teacher known for her bravery, realized that the only way to save her friends and family was to confront the chef. She fought against the invisible force that held her in place, inching closer to the demonic figure. As she approached, the chef's laughter ceased, replaced by a guttural growl.
You cannot stop what has already begun.
The chef hissed, his voice no longer human.
This feast is my masterpiece, a ritual centuries in the making.
Lily, undeterred, continued her advance. She noticed a pendant around the chef's neck, glowing with an eerie light. Instinctively, she knew that the pendant was the source of his power. With a swift movement, she reached out and grabbed it, tearing it from his neck. The effect was immediate. The chef let out a blood-curdling scream as his form began to disintegrate into a cloud of dark mist. The room's temperature returned to normal, and the townspeople, freed from their paralysis, rushed towards the exits. However, just as they thought the nightmare was over, a new horror unfolded. The mist that had once been the chef started to coalesce, forming into multiple smaller, shadowy figures that darted around the room, their eyes glowing with the same malevolent red light. The townspeople realized with terror that the chef had not been defeated, but had instead multiplied, his essence spreading into every corner of the room. Lily, clutching the pendant tightly, understood that the chef's curse was far from broken. The townspeople, now facing multiple threats, were trapped in a never-ending nightmare. The figures closed in, their laughter echoing the chef's sinister chuckle. As the shadows converged, the last thing Lily saw before the room plunged into darkness was the glint of red eyes all around her and a whisper in her ear.
The feast is eternal.